I just took a break, played a game and stuff. So I couldn't record while I was doing this, but basically while I was playing the game, I was thinking about testing, as I mentioned in a couple of videos ago. I've used Mocha before for testing, so I thought just do a quick Google search for async testing, because I know I've got some asynchronous code to test, so just to make sure I knew how to do that, and that brought up the main Mocha page section on async code, so I was having a read through that, which is fairly simple. Basically, so Mocha, you to describe what module and function you're in, and describe some expected behavior, and it takes this function with your test in it, and if you add done, that'll give you a callback that you can call when your test is complete. So it knows when all the asynchronous callbacks that it needs to wait for are finished. So I remember some time ago when I was using Mocha, I don't think I was doing that right, and the test would terminate before before everything had finished running, before I had all the output. So that's what I might do. So actually, if I just scroll up here a bit, it should have the main Mocha stuff about how to install it and get it working. So let's copy that. Why not? Just jump back into there. Actually, part of this is we're just now, do I want to install that globally like it's saying? I guess if I want to run manually, I do, but I also want to. I'm not sure whether. See, I want Mocha as a dev dependency, so when I run tests in a new checkout, it'll work. Let's just try that. See what that does. So that should install it, but it should also be saving it in dev dependencies and package.json. Refresh that. It doesn't seem to have added it. Let's try that. Might end up with two copies of Mocha, one locally and one globally, but I don't really mind that. There we go, so now I've got Mocha as dev dependency. So now if I run Mocha, it probably won't do anything because I haven't got a test file. So it should be complaining about not finding tests, so next thing to do is add some tests. So I'll put them in the same place that putting them there. There we go. So now I've got test.js, and they're saying put something along these lines in there. So why don't I just grab that just to make sure that I've got my tests running properly, and then I'll replace it with whatever I've got. So that's just testing index of an array. So if I run Mocha now, it should work, and I think that'll try and run my test code, which in this case, error no test specified is what I get because that's the default when you don't specify anything in package.json. It just says that. So maybe I can just say Mocha is my test command, so then when I run npm test, it works. Alright, So let's test. So what this should do is, if this test were to fail, if I just change it so it'll definitely be wrong, it should use the descriptions to output where it failed. So array index of should return -1. So they're just concatenating these things together, separated by spaces. So cool. Okay, that all seems to be working. Now let's make it actually test part of my code. So for now, I guess I'm just going to have a test for each of these little modules, or anything I want to test just in the middle of my single test file. But I'll probably split those up at some point, since several of these could be handy as standalone modules to publish individually, like the launch documentation one. Once I've split that up, it could potentially be useful. And then they could have their own tests. Ideally, I guess what I should be doing is for each of these modules, they should be in their own directory with their own tests anyway. Maybe I should try doing that. So maybe if I new file, let's make a new folder called get section. And drag that into there and move that into the get section directory. And then I can probably just rename that to index.js. And that should still import just the same. So if I now run that, it should still work just the same. Actually, I don't think I'm using get section in my code at the moment because I was able to just fetch an individual section, so that's not good. Let's do it for extract text. I'll make sure that it's working. So move that to just put it into index.js. Okay, so extract text, and that's there. That should still run. Does seem to still be working, so that's good. And that's because in index, when I say ./extract text, it'll be looking for a module called extract text, and a module is defined as either a directory, which can have, if it's a directory, it'll look for index.js in the directory, and if it's a file, it'll JavaScript file, it'll match that as well. So now that I have that in there, I can probably make a file called test, and then extract text equals require.slash. I think even just dot might work. Just a quick search for that. Require current directory. ID, so kind of ID. It's a string resolve module. So I give it HTML and a callback, and it will call the callback with the text. So what I'll do is I'll just print something to the console to make sure that it's working. So let's just give it HTML string. Let's give it a h2 with it works. Inside it, and then maybe a paragraph. That was made. Let's wrap that in a span. Just so we've got a bit of nested stuff. That and a callback function, which should just take some text. That's the argument. Is that right? Yep, just a single item. Does it take an error ever? No, I don't think so. So now I'll just log that to the console for now. But I will be putting that in some kind of assertion. Right, so that's that. And I should just be able to run that directly with Node. Tab complete. Find module dot. Yep. Okay. Try that. Okay, so that seems to work. And now let's turn it into a mocha test. We jump back to that mocha documentation. Haven't written any mocha tests for a while, so it'll be much quicker just to refer to it. So using assert, there are different assertion modules, but the core assert should be fine. We don't have to require mocha, do we? Nope. Describe something function, describe something function, it something. Oh, I've already got that in here, so let's just grab that and shape it to my needs. Stretch text. Don't need to wrap it in. 2 levels of describe. And it should return. It should. Text content. So this function, I need it done to make it async. And after I've finished, I'll call done. And that'll be actually inside the callbacks. So let's take this. So extract text from that. Just split that up. A couple of lines. I could make a multi-line string if I were using ES6, the next version of JavaScript. But that's not available yet. go, function of text, and set that. So again, it's inside console to assert something about that text. Ren asserts in one either. Assert.equal that, okay. So I'm basically asserting that my text is equal to, let's say it works, and some quotes, followed by a new line, and then that lot without the span in it. Now, I'm not sure whether mocha will go and find all these extra tests. This extra text looks a little bit messy. It's not too much codes. It's not too big a deal. Right, try running that. Just see if I type mocha. So that's just running the main test thing. Maybe I'll search for how to do that. Because ideally I really want the tests from module to be right there with them, just to keep it all in one little package, so that as I move things around, if I split something out into a separate project, there's not a lot of work in moving tests. Something like that. Nested suites, jQueries, testing framework for Java. Maybe I should look on this page, because that's seeing the top result there is just that. Hierarchical view. No, that's just that. Yeah, and report. That looks fun. I'll give that a go later. So these are different output formats. Let me see if I can find a overview. Table of contents, that's what I need. One of these. These are some real projects. Okay, so I don't know if there's a simple way to run. Looks good. That looks like what I want, and that's like an issue that may be requesting running those. This thing closed. Long time ago. See what TJ says. Prefer to keep things Unixy. This may have strayed from the original discussion. Does that work? That'd be nice. Okay. Not any directory / test.js. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted. It did something. Oh, that appears to have tested absolutely everything. What I want to test is only things in lib. That looks a bit better. So I've got that one that I purposely made fail. Oh, and this other one appears to be also failing. Oh, I didn't have the second. Oh, yeah, of course. Callback got called twice with the different pieces of the extracted text. So that makes sense. It's not done after a single callback. It's only done after. Ooh, that makes it a little trickier to test, actually. Anyway, that appears to be running all the tests in my libs, which is good, but it's not running my main test. But that's okay because I should just put all my tests in lib. So good. So this test. So what I want to do is update package.json to have that. There we go. And when I run npm test, it should run that. And so just test.js. Let's move that out of the directory into test, and that should just be testing main one. Okay, and that directory can be deleted. Yes, and delete it. What the? That seems to have frozen things. Deleting a directory must be complicated stuff. I hope I didn't do anything bad. I probably should have read that dialogue a bit more carefully. It seems to have killed Sublime Text. It could be a bug in Sublime Text. It shouldn't be possible to just lock up the whole program like that. Anyway, while I'm waiting, why don't I run npm test and see whether that does what I expect, which should be exactly the same output I had just there. Test failed. Not okay. Code 0. Code 0 is normally success. Okay, so that's now running both of those, and they're both failing. Oh, come on, don't die. Alright, I'm going to just kill that window. Hope that doesn't kill all my Sublime texts. Just try closing it first, I guess. Oh no, it has killed all of them. I've got another Sublime text window on my monitor, and that one's died as well, so those are windows. Probably second responding. Let's just say Alt F4. Wait, cancel. That's not done. Object focus this and Alt F4. Seems like they're not even capable of getting focus, so that's odd. I'll have to kill it through here. Control Shift Escape. is it still open? Is it doing anything weird using my memory or CPU? It hasn't done something stupid like try and delete the computer. End task. Clicking lots of times doesn't help. If anything, it slow things down. Oh well, okay, it looks like I've done something terrible to Sublime Text. I'm not able to terminate it, so it looks like I might be doing a forced restart of this. Oh, yes, close the program. Windows really doesn't handle some things all that well. Sometimes. Okay, I don't need that. I've got something that I know works. So I haven't actually got any tests written yet, despite messing around for half an hour. But that's okay. Done something. Might as well end that video there, and let's just say that's setting up for tests. I'll get some actual tests written in the next video, because that's about half an hour. So stay tuned.